Morning guys, so new day, new job, Monday morning. First thing we've got to do is rip this bathroom out. So all the tiles have got to come off. The client's already made a start on some of the other walls and done her best at making them good. It's good enough for what we're going to be doing with these walls. It's not ideal, but that's what we can't figure out. Shower's coming out, having a new shower. We're having a niche in this wall. So this plasterboard is going to come off. This wall's going to come off back to the studs and we're going to reboard. New towel radiator is going to have a 1700 shower tray, 1700 by 800, so that'd be this whole wall. And then there's going to be a glass screen and it's going to be a walk-in. We're hoping to get it flush to the floor, but there's a conservatory out the back and the waste pipes are pretty much in place. There's not going to be a massive amount we can do with them, so if it comes out the wall at a high level, then it's going to have a raised platform. If it's under the floor and comes up, we should be able to do floor mounted. It will have a new vinyl floor as well. It's going to have a vanity unit sink and a new toilet. We're going to have a shaver point, LED light up cabinet, new LED light fittings and a new cover for this vent. Now the client has painted the ceiling and we're moving the light switch from there to the other side of the wall. So while the wall's off, we'll drop that cable down and through the wall to move the light switch as well. Not a massive job because we're not tiling this job, we're actually going to be using wall panels. Now bear with me and I will show you the wall panels. They're not the best ones. I did recommend going for the solid core, but unfortunately they were outside my client's budget and they've supplied the panel. So with the panels we're going to be installing, be very careful with them because you can, if you're not careful, put your fingers through them, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. These are our wall panels that we're going to be using. That's the new lino. So these are the wall panels. Now I'll try and show you what I mean with these. Let's just try and carefully, bear with me. Oh, this is already open, there we go. Okay, so these are the wall panels, and as you can see, they are actually hollow core, and if you're not careful, actually, to be fair, that is solid. That's much better than what I've used in the past. I've done these this is a much better quality one. I have used these in the past where where the front is wafer thin and you can actually put your fingers through, but this, absolutely solid. So that's a good start. That's a really good start. These are a lot more dense than the ones I've used in the past. Now they do say on the instructions, which is a waste of time, about these corner trims and internal external corner trims and these joining bars for straight H joints, but these interlock with this lock here. This is like an interlock system, so you put silicone in these. Obviously when I come to installing these, I will give you a much better tutorial on them. Over on the bed there, as you can see at the back, there is the trims for the corners. Now not sure how we're going to use them yet. In the past we've scribed the internal corners, silicone behind, silicone in front, and it gives a much better seal than the trims they supply, but we will have a look at it when it comes down to that section of it and see how we get on. But in the meantime, let's start ripping the shower tray out and start getting some of these tiles off the wall. I'm on my own today because Ricky's not back from his trip till later on today. So it's going to be a one-man band today. Let's get stuck in, see how things pan out. Now, as you can see, whoever did this originally hasn't primed the walls. And it's all just falling off. Limited adhesive on it. Some of it's stuck a bit more than others, but in general, coming off fairly simply. So, got to get all the tiles off now around the shower, so we can get the shower tray out. Obviously we've got the screen off already. It's pretty straight, came off really easily, just peeled off, just took it apart by undoing all the screws. The doors literally just lift off. So that made it really simple. So priority now is just to get the rest of these tiles off, get the tray out and have a look and see what's going on with the tray. We're not going to muck about too much with the actual shower itself for now. We'll just go around that because we're going to have to shut all the water off to get that off. Alright, shower tray is out. All we've got to do now is get the rest of the tiles off, and then we can work out exactly a plan of action. Now, unfortunately, we are going to have to put the shower tray on a raised platform, because as I said, outside this window, if I can get it open, you'll see there is a conservatory right below us, which means all the soil pipes everywhere are going out that wall, and they're somewhere boxed in or something in that area. So as you can see down there, our waste pipe for the shower's got some weird bends in it, but don't quite understand why they've done that, but it's not the end of the world. But we can definitely do something with that. So we're just going to have to put a 4x2 frame in, some ply that out, get it all nice and level, and then rework the waste. We had some major damp there. Obviously where they've had some leaks or the water's been getting through the grout line, it's soddened the wall, and that's all fallen off. So once we scrape and clean the walls down and get them all looking reasonable, we will then bond that section back up and get them looking nice and pretty, and that way our bathroom boards panels can go straight over. So I've still got to get the shower off and the shower head up there. Get the rest of these walls off. I'm going to bag this rubbish up, get some of this down to the van, get rid of the old shower screen and what have you, and then we can get stuck back in again. Work in progress, as they say. See you soon. Okay guys, so we're getting there. This wall has been double boarded. Obviously when they did the last refurb, rather than deal with the tile adhesive or just go and get it plastered, they decided to just stick another layer of plasterboard over. Hence why we've got entire sheets like this that have come off. So not only have I got a D-nail, I've now got a D-nail, de-screwed 2 lots of plasterboard, but I've got most of this wall off now. I'm going to run some of this rubbish down, get it in the van ready for the skip, and then I can have a bit of a clear up. The tray is out, as you know. So we're going to get rid of this rubbish, get the rest of this wall off, and then we can tackle disconnecting the radiator and getting this wall off. And once that wall's off and this cleaned, we can then look at the toilet and the sink, get them isolated, get them off, get them in the van, lift the lino up, and then we know exactly where we are for tomorrow. We can make a list of what we need to do, and then we can get stuck back in. So stay tuned, it's all good fun. Hard graft on your own guys, but we're getting there. So this wall is now deboarded. We just got to remove the screws and the nails, and then finish getting rid of the rubbish up and down the stairs, get it in the van and get it in the skip. Things are moving slowly, but I'll just show you around. So we've exposed the pipes now for the shower. So these are already at 150 centres. So basically what I can do is I can take these, unbolt all this when the water's turned off obviously, and just bring 2 tails straight out the wall, keep it at that height, then I haven't got to do too much with the pipe work. This is all blown, so I've got to get all this tile adhesive off best I can and do something with that, and then rebond and get that flat ready for the new boards to go on, the shower panels to go on. We are going to tank most of that wall, all of that wall, so we're going to be tanked. We're probably going to be putting tile board on that wall. It's about 6 pieces, it's about 130 quid's worth of tile board. It's a lot of money, but it will never rot. Obviously, like I said before, we're going to put a raised platform there because of where the waste is. The radiator all needs to be repiped, and as you can see just there, we've got what looks like underfloor heating because they have latexed and plied and latexed this floor, then put the vinyl on top. But we've got to get in the floor to potentially take that pipe out there and bring it across and out, and then that one across and out in the wall. So we're going to have to cut into the floor carefully to move those 2 pipes, and then we just got to de-screw and clean the walls up ready for new plasterboard. This wall will just have plasterboard on it. Radiator's going in the bin. But yeah, we get in there. I've just got to go up and down the stairs a few times now with the rest of this rubbish. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? But we get in there, so hopefully if I can get all this rubbish in the van, I'm gonna go and get some bonding and some copper, because it's only 11 o'clock. So if I can get the pipes for the shower out the wall and get that wall made good, it'll help push things on for tomorrow. So that's the general plan. So let's get stuck back in, shall we, guys? So it looks like we've had some dodgy plumbers in, or some DIYers, whoever fitted the shower pump, because they've done the typical old mistake and they've plumbed the hot in before the vent pipe. So as you can see here, this is the hot they've got feeding the pump, which goes down into our pump down there. So we are going to have to completely drain down the heating, hot water, and we're going to have to repipe that. Might put a tank flange in like I did on the last one, and then just cut this and then just do a connection straight across onto here, low level as we can, and then just pipe that back in as a bend. So that's not a minor issue, that's not a major issue, but it could have been a very dangerous issue, because obviously that isn't a vented pipe, because it's sucking it straight through there. It's going to suck air in through this, which is the vent. So that's a no-no. So that's got to be addressed. And then we need to make sure that that one at the back there is the cold feed, so we can get them two isolated. And then once they're isolated, we can then change the shower in here and get the pipes out the wall. That's the general plan anyway. Stay tuned. Okay, van loaded. Let's go get it unloaded, get rid of the rubbish. See you when we get back. See you soon. Okay guys, so we've removed this plastic shower body from out of here. This will now be obsolete, so we don't need to worry about that. We can just unscrew this thread from up there with a big Allen key or a pair of grips. All we've got to do now, these are 150 centres. So all we've got to do is cut them level and bring two tails out the wall. So what I'm going to do, I've got a squidgy bottle, a spray bottle, taken the spray part out. I'll put it down somewhere, there she is. And all I'm going to do, get a flexible bucket, just going to pull that filter a little bit off, and put that in the pipe like so, as quick down as I can get it, and just use the sprayer just to get some of the excess water out, so that we can solder without any issues. I've already cleaned the pipe. Okay, so that's the bulk of the water's out of those bits of pipe now, but they are pretty much level. I'm just going to use this angled bit just to get on the pipe. Get a nice clean bit of pipe like so. Same on this one. That's it, got a nice bit of clean pipe there now. Get some tissue, then just dry the pipe up, because obviously I need to put some flux on them. We're going to flux them up, couple of elbows. Cut the bits of copper pipe, find our centre, make sure we're all level. Okay, so I've got two little random bits of copper that were just offcuts from another job. I always keep my offcuts. I'm just going to flux these up. I've got some nice new flux here. Flux that bit. I'm going to have to re-empty the cold. Got a couple of teas. That's the thought I did. Maybe not. I'll come back to the cold in a minute. Let's get this one on first. I like to wipe off the excess. Put it on my trousers, why not? We get that coming out the wall, get a set square on that, solder that one on, and then we can cut that, put a cap on it. Do the same on this one, but obviously on that one we've got to empty it out again. So we do this one quick, and that way then it won't fill up with water too quickly. And then I can put a cap on it. Now, some of you may remember, I use these Cobra levels. Now this is my old one. I actually stood on this and I've caused a bit of damage. As you can see, it was 3D printed. So this is their new one. It's thinner. Still got the same thickness when it comes to, oh, actually it is thinner, but this is definitely a lot sturdier. It's more solid. So we can put this on here like so, to make sure that our centres are correct and that we've got a reasonably good level. And I'm going to torch them up quickly. Find what I've done with my torch. Solder. These cold run quite quickly. Ignore that, it's a bit of expanding foam. That's that one done. Smoky. Make sure we get a good seal on that. Job done. Okay, so we put the fire out. That's just the expanding foam in the wall and the plastic fitting that they've used on the remaining wall there. Just going to trim these bits of pipe up, not too short, because I want to make sure that there's plenty of length on them. And I need to get this all bonded up next. That's our next job. So we can put that back on when we do our bonding. And that's it. Just need to double check everything, make sure we got a good seal on it all. What I will do is put some push fits on this, and I'll probably turn the water back on just so that I can check for leaks, because I can't do a pressure test on this because it goes through the pump and there's compression fittings and stuff, so, and isolators. Might be able to do a pressure test, we'll see. Okay, so the water's back on and we put our push fit caps on, just checking for level and distance. Everything's looking perfect. So I've just got to clean the little tails up before I put it in. Probably going to throw some expanding foam in there first, just to get it so that it all glues and stops the pipes from moving, and then we'll cut that back and we'll coat it all with bonding. Bond all this up, get it uni-bonded, get it bonded, get this scraped off, and then that'll be us probably for today, to be fair. So I'm going to go to the van, get a blade scraper, I'm going to hit this, try and get all this adhesive off best I can. I've got to get this out yet. This little bit up here's got to come out. Here's an Allen key, but it's a big one. A pair of grips, because obviously we don't need this anymore, it's surplus to requirements. Now we're having surface mounted, because I'm a big believer in the surface mounted bar showers, purely because for ease of service, you're never going to have an issue with one. And if you do get an issue, it's turn the water off, 2 bolts, take it off, 2 bolts, put it back on, job done. Simple as that, never going to be an issue. None of this, if this ever goes wrong, you'll get into the wall, take the tiles off to replace it. So for me, this is the ideal way of repairing it. So I'm going to go get the blade scraper and crack on. Okay, up and down at the yo-yo, so let's have a go, trying to get some of this adhesive off. Dusty. See, as you can see, it does come off in most cases. I've put some expanding foam just to help glue the pipes in place. Once that's set, I'll break a lot of that off and fill it with some bonding. That's that bit off. And there we go. Break it this way. Still good. Right, so That's the worst of that taken off now. Have a tidy up, Unibond this whole wall, give it a thorough coat of Unibond, and then we can start thinking about feathering it in a little bit at a time. Do the deeper stuff first and then work our way up in layers. So we've now fully Unibonded this whole wall. As you can see, it's much darker now than it was. And the expanding foam is now starting to go off on the shower, so we need to clean that back to the pipes to make sure we can get a nice solid fitting on fixing. So I want to make sure I get plenty of hard wall in around the pipes, because when I put my fittings on there, I want to make sure I get a good fit, so nice and secure. So the pipe work in the shower area is done. We just got to let that bonding go off a bit, get it so that it's almost gone off, and then we can Unibond. We can then bond it all up, get it all pretty much flat. I haven't checked to see what the level's saying, so that's something I should really do. See, if I put it on where they've made good, it's actually pretty good. So that's not bad actually. So if I just give it a tight skim, I should be able to get it reasonably level. That's for plumb, I should say, plumb. Okay, so for the first gauge, we're going to do quite a heavy, thick gauge just to fill this bottom section in and to get loads in around our pipe work. The expanding foam has held our pipes in nice and solid, so we know they're not going to move now. We know they're right because we're using our Cobra level, which just clips on like so, and it's perfectly level, hasn't moved. So we know we're good with that. Great bit of kit. So I'm just going to knock up the bonding. Like I say, do that bottom section first, and then we're going to do this section. Now when it comes to your bags of bonding or any sort of bags, there'll be one end, sometimes it's the top, sometimes it's the bottom. You better get your hand in. There's only one place you can do it. Get your hand in and give it a good yank. Like that. And that will open your bag for you. Do it every time. So bonding's really easy to knock up. You don't have to worry about how you pour it in, because it will just knock up really quick. So I'm just going to throw some in. Get the ball rolling. So if you do this with tile adhesive, you'll get lumps and bumps. And it won't mix properly, but you do it with bonding, it's not really an issue. Now I do have a proper whisk, but it's at home and I just got to get it. So I've always got a little drill powered whisk in the van. Oh, typical. Now this is a nice gauge we've got going on. Just give me a bucket of scrape round. You want it to just stay on your bucket scraper like that. So it's nice and thick. It's sliding off, but it's nice and solid as well. Not too thick, not too thin. Just right, as they say. So I need my hawk. Okay, so I've got my hawk. Now believe it or not, this hawk is over 20 years old. It's actually older than my oldest kid. And as you can see, it spins and it's not brilliant. And it does that in my hand. Could do with a new one, but it's my old faithful. So we're going to start at the bottom and work our way up. So don't try putting it on too thick. That's where a lot of people go wrong. You just want to build up the layers, let it go off a little bit, and put it on at an angle. And as you come up, straighten the trowel up. That way, then you'll get a nice even spread. Let me see if I can get you a bit closer, so you can see what I'm doing better. You might not be able to see me, but at least you'll be able to see what I'm doing. So, don't try to get too much on your float. So all I'm trying to do is just build up that layer at the moment. I'm not trying to be fancy with it, because this will need to be left alone for a good 20 minutes to let it actually sort of semi-harden up. give it its second skim. So what I'm doing is literally building the layers up. I can give all this a skim as well, but obviously this bit's going to need another skim, a bit more afterwards as well. And like I said, you're not trying to get this perfect, because you just ain't going to get it perfect on your first go. And try not to hit the handle of your bucket when you're loading your hawk. Sorry guys. Didn't realise that wasn't being filmed. So we've got a first coat on the bottom section. We've thrown a load of gunk in around the pipes. Just got to let that go off and then we can get another coat on it. I'm just going to feather in the top section now. So I'm not going to go trying to fill this, make it look perfect, because you don't have to. This is purely just to get it flat. See, this top, that's probably all I'm going to do with the top part. There's no need to do any more than that because we are going to be gluing our boards to this. All we're going to do is give it a good coat of tanking. We might give it another skim because this area's got to be pretty good because we're going to be tanking it with a tanking paint. So we want to get it sort of semi-decent really. Just going to pump a bit more of what I've got left just in there. Like so. Starting to go off now. And there we go. No point doing any more than that. Let that go off. And then we'll get another skim on it. Flatten it off with our speed skim. And then that'll probably be us it for today. We can get the shower base in, get the shower in, maybe give it another skim tomorrow possibly. We'll see how we get on today with it. But anyway, that's our first coat. All we've got to do now is clean our gear, ready for the next one. Okay guys, it's getting late. This is taking forever to dry. It isn't going to be dry tonight anytime soon because of how deep and how wet the wall was. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to leave it for tonight, come in tomorrow, scrape it, unibond it again, build our wooden frame, board all our walls up, so plasterboard these walls, tile board these walls, drop our cables in for the light circuit, change the light fittings, change our vent cover, take the tiles off the wall there, sink and toilet out, get the vinyl up and really smash the bulk of this out tomorrow. And then once we've done all that and that prep work's done, we can then, last thing or whatever, hit that again, flatten it off. So then when we come in on Wednesday morning, we can tank it all, completely tank everything, get our pipe work for our shower tray in, potentially get our tray in. Even if we put the tray in before we tank, it's not ideal. I'd rather tank underneath the tray. But obviously I've got to work the system as it needs to be worked, and this is having really wide bathroom wall panels on. So tanking isn't a necessity in that situation. I'm doing it because I want to do it, but it's not something you have to do because you're having these plastic wall panels put on. So the only ingress you're going to get from water is down that corner and the seal of the tray itself. So as long as you've sealed those properly, you should never have an issue in this bathroom. I've done these before where I've never put tanking in, and they're 10 years old now. Well, not 10 years old, but you know, they're old, and I've never had a callback. It's not ideal. I'd like to have got another skim on that, but I'm not going to stand around here till 6, 7 o'clock at night just waiting for that. I haven't got any other materials. I could go off and get some, but it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. there'll be 2 of us here tomorrow, so I can leave Ricky dropping cables, changing light fittings, getting the bulk of the basic stuff done. We can get a couple of noggins in this wall that would potentially support the radiator, because we can work the spacings out for that tomorrow. We can get the vinyl up, potentially get the radiator pipes moved. There's a lot of stuff we can crack on with tomorrow because there'll be 2 of us. And then Wednesday, like I say, tray, tanking, and potentially we could start putting them boards on, because there's no reason why not. It's not like you've got a tile and you've got to run lines around. So if this wall's finished and that wall's finished, we can board that wall, we can board that wall, potentially board this wall. You know, it's quite a quick job, this one, because of the panels we're fitting. But anyway, there's no point me prattling on. I'm gonna love you and leave you. Come back tomorrow for more progress. Don't forget, like, share, follow, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're 140 subscribers away from 4,000. So if you could hit that subscribe, hit that like button. There's also, I think there's now like a promote button that you can hit that will tag people you know. I'm not sure how that side of it works, but if you could look into that and potentially try and share the video on some of your other platforms to try and generate some more subscribers for me, I'd really appreciate it. So check us out tomorrow, guys, and we'll get some more smashed out. See you then. Bye bye.